Well, welcome back. Our next presenter is Tiffany Foley, and Tiffany is from the Newell Fonda High School in Newell, and she's the daughter of Jill DeMay and Edward Foley, and her presentation is titled My Garden. Please welcome Tiffany.
My presentation didn't work out as planned, so I have to go with this. My name is Tiffany Foley. For my Uncommon Student Award, I decided to do my garden. I was first, my counselor and my FFA advisor came to me with this award and asked me if I would be interested in it. My teacher, Mrs. Nealon, and I sat down and we came up with a list of projects to do for this. We decided on this. My original plan was to plant a garden, pick the produce, and give it to elderly people in my community. We started off planting the seeds in our Newell Fonda greenhouse until they were big enough to put in the ground in a garden. Mrs. Nealon let me use part of her land to plant my garden. But anyone who's had a garden knows if you don't weed your garden like you're supposed to, it looks like this. Since I didn't weed my garden as much as I was supposed to, my produce wasn't as I planned, but I did come up with a lot of tomatoes. And no one wants to eat a whole bunch of tomatoes. So I had to make salsa instead. I boiled the tomatoes, skinned the tomatoes, and made salsa. Delivering the salsa was probably my favorite part of the whole project. I got to talk to the elderly people in my community and visit with them. I also got to teach them about this award. A lot of people have never heard of it. Some leadership skills I had to learn or work on for this project would be organization skills. This here is how my garden was set up. I had potatoes, and then different kinds of tomatoes, and then down here I had some watermelon and cucumbers and stuff. Time management. Time management wasn't my greatest strength in this project. I worked about 40 hours a week with my job and had troubles getting out and weeding my garden. Because of this, I had to make salsa. I couldn't just give the produce to the community like I planned on. By doing the salsa instead, salsa lasts much longer than tomatoes. Tomatoes, if they get a little bruise on them, they're going to rot really fast. And then communication. Communication was a big part of this. I had to communicate with Mrs. Nealon when I was coming out to her house. I had to communicate with the elderly of my community and tell them about this. For this project, it didn't come out like I wanted it to, but I feel like my project was successful in the end. Thank you, James.
Questions? So I was wondering, when you decided to go with salsa, were the products for the salsa besides the tomato things you grew, or did you have to purchase additional supplies?
Most of them I got from my garden. I did have to buy a few because I was just a few short.
Right, and were these things canned, or were they were they okay just to jar up and give away as fresh? In other words, you didn't can them like
I canned them myself.
you did?
Yeah.
Other questions?
I'm curious.
What job do you have that takes 40 hours a week in addition to your school?
During the summer, I work at Kings Point Water Park, and we were short a lot of lifeguards. And with Kings Point being a water park, we had to have a lot of lifeguards, and so I was one of them who had to work a lot.
About how much quantity did you end up with? How many jars?
I think I had 5 or 6 jars. Not as many as I was hoping.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.